everybody, and welcome to the inaugural. That's right, the inaugural episode of Buffer State Sports. Now, a lot of people are going to be like, why do you call yourself Buffer State Sports? What's going on there? Well, Buffer State Sports is because it's called that because I live in a buffer state. What do I mean by that? It's kind of like the Switzerland of the United States when it comes to sports. There's really no professional sports in South Dakota, not really to speak of anyway. I mean, we've got like indoor football, that kind of thing, even some hockey franchises, but we really don't have anything in the football realm that's played outside, that's played by standard rules. So we call ourselves Buffer State Sports because we're coming to you live. Well, not really when you see it, but it's live when I do it here in South Dakota. So it's a South Dakota man's perspective. You'll get to know my feelings about things. I'm going to kind of, really hit on some things. But today we're going to talk about the USFL because the United States Football League has named another coach, and that is former Louisiana Tech football coach Skip Holtz. Skip Holtz is an interesting story. Here's a guy who is the son of the famous Lou Holtz of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish legend. And, of course, he was also very famous for being a South Carolina Gamecock head coach. Arkansas head coach before either one of those. So really, really prominent head coach. A lot of people know who Lou Holtz is. In fact, we see Lou Holtz all the time on TV making a lot of very profound statements. The guy's very well-spoken, conservative guy. Anyway, so let's talk a little bit about not Lou Holtz, but Skip Holtz, his son, who is now the new head coach and general manager, because that's how the USFL is doing it, head coach and general manager for the Birmingham Stallions, which, by the way, is going to be the host city. I don't think that's been announced yet. Today is the 20th day of January, 2022. I don't think it's officially been announced, but we know it's going to happen. It's the host city for what's going to be basically a bubble event. Every game is going to be played in Birmingham this year. So the USFL now has Skip Holtz. Let's talk about Skip Holtz a little bit. He's got an interesting coaching tree. He learned under the legendary Bobby Bowden. That was kind of his first major opportunity when he was a graduating assistant back in 1987. If you remember, me being a huge Miami fan, I'm a Canes guy, I'm a Dolphin guy. 1987 was a big year. Okay, that was one of our natties in 1987. Here's a guy who was serving under Bobby Bowden, where the bad guys are over in Tallahassee, and he was a graduating assistant that year, and he went on from there to coach under Earl Bruce. You guys remember Earl Bruce? He kind of spent his last coaching days over at Colorado State, and Skip Holtz was under him as a wide receiver coach at Colorado State. So this guy's got an extensive learning tree, some really good fundamental coaches. Skip Holtz himself is very old soul. He's a fundamental coach himself. And I'm not going to say he's a player's coach, but I will say that he's adaptable. In 1999, Skip coached as offensive coordinator at South Carolina under his dad, and that was after coaching for his dad at Notre Dame for a while. So the opportunity he had there at South Carolina, there's mixed opinions about that. They say he cut his teeth there at South Carolina, but at the same time, there's a lot of people who say that Skip Holtz, kind of struggled as offensive coordinator for the Gamecocks. So there's two sides to that story. There always is. So he went on from there. After coaching under his dad, he had a stint at the University of Connecticut, where he really wanted to take that program from the 1AA level at the time to the 1A level. Eventually they did do that, but it wasn't under Skip Holtz. Skip Holtz actually took them to a deep playoff run, something that they hadn't done in a long, long time. So he had a lot of success at the University of Connecticut as a 1AA school. But from there, he was hired as the head coach. This was his first head coach experience in 1A. At the time, it was called 1A. And that's he was East Carolina Pirate head coach. Had some really good success there, a couple Big East championships. Then John Levitt was let go for a terrible situation where he grabbed a player by the neck and slapped him. John Levitt was let go at the University of South Florida, and Skip Holtz bolted away from ECU, which I think in retrospect he probably wishes he hadn't done that, because at USF he did have a significant struggle. He had quite a talent pool and was not able to make hay with that talent pool that he had at USF. Going from USF then to Louisiana Tech, where he was just at, had some success there. Actually, in the 2019 Independence Bowl, he faced my boys, the University of Miami, and well, he clubbed us 14-0. That was a terrible season at the University of Miami. That was under Manny Diaz in 2019, and he led us. He led us through a very, very difficult season. That was after a better 2018 season where it kind of fell apart at the end for us. But 2019 was the season where we really fell back quite a bit. And we haven't been as bad as 2019 since, thankfully. But anyway, I'm digressing, talking about my Canes, so forgive me about that. But so Lou Holtz has got quite a rounded coaching tree. I'd say that the guy is quite more adept to offensive coaching than he is defensive coaching. You'll probably see some good offensive game planning. I have no idea who the rest of the coaches are going to be at the Birmingham Stallions. Not a whole lot of news has come out about the USFL at this point. It seems to be kind of being held close to the gut. We'll see what else comes out. I'm extremely excited about the league, though. This United States Football League is, in my opinion, something we've needed for a long time. We know that the XFL had a kind of a breakout season in its 2.0 season, right before that big C word hit, the one that all of us are tired of hearing about, and that kind of knocked them off their trajectory. But we did see that spring football made a big, big. It was a big hit. It made great presentation all around. We were seeing a lot of people really get into the XFL. I thought the XFL was headed towards some really special things, especially in St. Louis and in San Antonio or Dallas, Dallas Renegades. So there was some very very special things happening in the XFL, and I think that the USFL can take advantage of some of those things. Of course, playing all their games in the city of Birmingham is gonna kind of negate some of the interest of people around the United States who won't be able to travel, obviously, all the way to Birmingham for games. But the television packages look to be pretty tasty. So I'm really looking forward to seeing this television product. I'm hoping that it's as good, as exciting as I think it will be. And I pray that it's going to survive that initial stage in the Birmingham bubble. So wanted to cover a little bit about Skip Holtz today. Kind of go over his coaching tree, talk a little bit about his style, what the Birmingham Stallions might be. I don't even know how their draft is going to go, how their selection process is going to go. There's not a whole lot of talk about that either yet, but we'll be keeping track of it. We'll find out more information, and we will come back to you on another episode of Buffer State Sports. So appreciate you guys joining us today at Buffer State Sports. Please like and subscribe, and go ahead and pass this around. Let people know that we're here, because we're not going anywhere. We're going to try to do this every day, some kind of a report every day, short and sweet, to bring you guys up to date what's going on around football. The NFL playoffs are here, so we may talk some playoffs. Playoffs? You know who that is. So, Buffer State Sports, Rick Hidalgo, and thank you guys for watching. God bless you all, and see you next time.